that at least all the people that were supporting also yesterday, una don't see how far now.
and okay, Chelsea winning that game 2-1, and the transfer window just concluded yesterday. So we're going to give you some of the deals that went through in the final day of that transfer window. Somewhere in Enugu, Rangers International beat Ikorodu City 2-0. First win into 2025 for us. That game happened at the Cathedral after losing at home last weekend. We won this time 2-1. So kudos to Rangers International. Let's hope that result favor us throughout from now to the end of the season, where probably we might retain that title that we won last season. Okay, let's start with the Chelsea game. Chelsea game happened yesterday, 2-1, John.
Yeah, it was a game that, let's just put this in perspective a bit. Chelsea are playing a Westham side that are right now without the powerhouse of Antonio, without Niklas Füllkrug, and without the third striker in the side. So they are without a striker. And, in this encounter, we heard from last night that they were able to get in somebody from Brighton, but it wasn't.
Somebody is Ferguson.
Evan Ferguson.
Everybody was thinking that he's going to be a superstar because of injuries. He didn't actually have.
He's just back from injury right now, and he wasn't, of course, able to play in this encounter. But obviously, he's going to be available for the remainder of the season. And then the man himself, Gerald Bourne, got the early goal in this encounter. He had been out injured, but hopefully he's back to fitness now, and he scored. And we're thinking that having scored first, Chelsea will have enough power about themselves West Ham would have enough power about themselves to be able to see off the Chelsea up front, the Chelsea attack. But unfortunately, they capitulated to Chelsea FC in this game, and they were unable to get back into the winning position in this encounter. And like I said, we were calling it yesterday. A lot of people were saying that they were backing West Ham. I knew it was just hope against hope that West Ham will beat Chelsea at Chelsea's home. Like how? How is that even possible?
It's possible. It can happen. It's not
if you have a fit Antonio, if you have a fit Füllkrug, if you have a fit other players in the side that are fit and they are back in form, why not? It could happen. But in this case, in this scenario, I felt Chelsea have enough power within themselves to be able to see this game out, and they played out the way we called it.
Okay, let's talk about the first goal. The first goal, a mistake from Cowell, that back pass, and Bowen pounced on the ball and scored that goal. We've been talking about Chelsea defense, how they lose concentration. Even though Cowell is still a young boy, I think he's 22, 23 years, he still has to grow into that position, but cutting off these kind of mistakes will help them qualify for the top 4.
Of course, you can't afford to be making these amounts of mistakes in these games, and we're even saying yesterday that mistakes lead to goals or something like that.
Yeah, you have to make a mistake for somebody to score.
You can't allow this type of mistakes. I felt that they should have done better defensively. Tosin and Cole, that combination at the back, I don't know if it's the most steady combination right now for Chelsea, but they need improvements in that position. The only good news now for the back four is that Reece James is back and playing games, back to back to back. So that's
okay. Chelsea equalized by in the second half when they introduced Neto. Neto scored that first goal. It was across the ball. They was rebound everybody. Then he came to him and he scored that goal 1-1. I think Neto has actually did well since he moved to Chelsea.
Yeah, he's been one of the stellar performers down the wings. He scores goals, he gets assists, he puts in performances, and he's the kind of player that, when you bring in at Chelsea, you should give him a starting bet because he does well for the team. I still think Enzo Maresca has a couple of tinkering to do around the flanks between him and Madeke, between him and Sancho, between him and Felix, but I feel Neto should be starting alongside Madeke. That's the best combination down the flank.
Then Palmer did his own magic, and even though it was a deflected goal when he tried to cross the ball into the box and it was deflected, that game ended 2-1. Okay, now Maresca, what do you think Maresca should be doing? Because they need to qualify for top 4. You cannot spend over $1 billion in the past 2 seasons, and you are not qualified even for the Champions League. Last season they didn't qualify. They qualified for the Conference League, which was very, very poor for a standard for Chelsea. Now they have an opportunity to play the Champions League. At least that's the minimum, because you cannot spend that kind of money and you are playing Europa. It's somehow.
Maresca, speaking to the press a couple of days ago, was saying that right now Chelsea are ahead of the trajectory they had when they were discussing with him to get him on the club. The initial prerogative was to get him to stabilize them in the Premier League and then get them the coming season to finish top four, and then the third season to push for the title. But so far, he's in the top four thereabouts after these results yesterday. So he's ahead of schedule. And then he's already putting, if you look at the performances, you can't go watch Chelsea game and come back and tell me that the players they are not performing. They are performing. It's just that there are a few situations they need to fix up. They need to fix up the back line. The Sassy, is he going? Is he staying? Who needs to come in? The right profile player needs to come in for Chelsea. And then you look at the attack line, you have a lot of, like we said earlier in the season, Chelsea cut a lot of people off the wage bill only to replace them with redundancies that are not putting in the quality performance that they are needing. And yet again, Chelsea are heading towards another summer where they are looking like they don't have a striker in the team, because the two men in that position have not performed.
They introduced Nkunku. Nkunku and Gui in that game, even though they tried in that game, even both of them didn't get on the score sheet. They removed Jackson around 55 minutes, introduced Nkunku, later introduced Gui because they were chasing a goal. I think that Chelsea and Maresca have to do without, they have to do with Jackson, Gui and Nkunku.
Yeah.
Which truthfully, they are above average players. They are not world-class players, but they are both average players. So they have to make with that till this summer. So let's see what Chelsea is going to be doing. They won that game 2-1 at the bridge after conceding the first goal in the first half, and they came back to win that goal. Good luck to them and this qualification of Champions League. Okay, the table in the Premier League, first is still Liverpool after 23 games with 56 points. They have a game in hand. Every other person has played, apart them and Everton has played only 23 games. Arsenal is second after 24 games with 50 points. That is 6 points behind Liverpool. And Nottingham Forest is third with 47 points. Chelsea is now fourth with 43 points. Man City is fifth with 41 points. Sixth is Newcastle with 41 points. Bournemouth is after 24 games is 40 points. Aston Villa is 37 points in 8th position. Fulham is 36 points. 10th position is Brighton after losing that 7 goals to nil. Yeah. They have entered -3 negative goal difference after conceding 7 last weekend. That is top 10. If you go down, you see Manchester United somewhere at 13th with 29 points with -6 goals difference. Manchester United, people are still owing us 6 goals in this Premier League, and I think it's about third consecutive years they are going to be finishing in a negative goal difference. That means they are buying strikers, spending 70 million on Højlund, spending so many money on strikers, attackers,
and they are not scoring, they are not productive. Week in, week out.
Almost 100 million euros for Anthony. He's not somewhere in Spain, playing football. He bought Højlund that have not scored up to how many goals this season. Zeski have not scored more than 3 goals this season. All your attackers are not scoring goals, so they need to fix up that attacking, because you cannot come every year spending a whole money, all this money, and you cannot, and you keep finishing in minus. If you don't understand what minus is that they are considered more goals in the Premier League than they have scored, and they have 29 points after 24 goals.
Let's not forget that there is also the collateral damage of making these signings, which is the amount of money they spent. Under Ten Hag alone, they spent about 700 million pounds. If you compound it with the previous manager, they spent northwards of 1.5 billion pounds. And what's the return for all these expenses? It's deficit, because they have not moved up in the Premier League. They've not finished better. The fundamentals, such as playing quality football, they are not playing the quality football. And now these things have come to roost, because they need to sell to be able to bring in another set of players for Amorim. So I think it's becoming counterproductive for Manchester United to keep on hiring and firing and buying players that they are not going to keep under managers who want them and need them. And at the end of the day, you have to, every 2 years, you have to clear out your squad, because the manager who brought these players in are not available, and bring in another squad again.
The problem about changing managers is that if, for example, Amorim is he plays 3 at the back.
Yes.
Man have been buying in quotes 4-4-3 formation. Now this guy is not going to change it. They have to start buying players that fit in that style of play. That's always the problem of changing managers. But let's see what Manchester United will do. So they are still 12th in the Premier League. So somewhere 15th is Spurs. Spurs has 24 points in this game, which 24 points after 23 games, which is very, very 24. Okay, they have
27 points.
27 points. after 24 games. Let's see where they are going to finish in this Premier League. It's going to be a battle for everybody. So let's see who is going to survive, who is going to win the Premier League. The bottom three is still Wolves, Ipswich, and Southampton. Obviously, even though that Southampton won against Ipswich last weekend, they are still going to go down in this Premier League battle. But let's see what happens.
Instead of minus 36 goals, though.
They are, if it's for goal, leave that one for them. They concede like I don't even understand how they concede goals. They concede goals as if that they stole somebody something in the market and they are chasing them. Everybody is scoring goals. Apart from last week, they won 2-1, which was good for them. So let's see what happens with them in this Premier League. Okay, if you look at the goals scored this season, Salah is still on 21 goals. That is his highest goal scorer in the Premier League. Haaland is behind him with 19 goals, and Isak is 17 goals. Chris Wood is in 17 goals. He's going to probably finish with 20 goals this season, which is actually good for a striker, old striker like him. So let's see how it's going to be ending. So that's all for the game against Chelsea and Westham, and the Premier League weekend has ended. So let's see, next week is going to be an FA Cup week. So no Premier League next week, but let's see what happens. Okay, let's move over to games that happened yesterday in Nigeria NPFL before we move over to the transfer, because that's where I want to end with. The transfer windows closed yesterday and players everywhere. Man City even bought a midfielder. Pep, no one stories again. He's bought 2 defenders, 1 striker, and 1 midfielder in this summer. Imagine buying 4 players in January, because he needs to fix whatever that is wrong with his team, because they are not playing well. Suddenly they are not playing well and they are not scoring goals, which is unlike Manchester City. So we're going to talk about transfer window in a bit, but first let's talk about the Nigerian Professional League. Games happened yesterday. Rangers International winning that game yesterday 2-0 at Enugu here, John.
Yeah, it was a good game. I'm super happy that we finally won. You know, I keep saying it, that the way you go about something, the way you start a campaign should be the way you follow it through to the end of the campaign. You can't start a campaign coming off a season where you were the champion, and then in this season, as early as this number of games you've had, you are falling behind the team that both of you were neck and neck for the title last season, even to the final week. You know, Remo Stars this season are sitting top of the table, and then Enugu Rangers, we are, let me say, a quarter mile away. It's not a nice position to be in. So first and foremost, I would like to say kudos to Enugu Rangers for winning that game against Ikorodo City. Naturally, they're not supposed to be on our level, but you know, you go into games sometimes and losing games you shouldn't be losing. So kudos to them for winning this game, and then hopefully we can now turn this ship around and go northward, you know, because we deserve to be heading up the NPFL table. We deserve to be going up and challenging. You can imagine we are almost 9 points behind, and it's not a good look at all. We need to turn this thing around and ensure that we get higher up the table.
Yes, Godwin just scored in the 45th minute of that game. Good goal for him. And in the second half, almost at the end of the game, in the 89th minute, Isaac Xavier Johnson scored another goal in the 89th minute to give them that 2 goals to win. I think in the Chukuni, I don't know what they need to buy. I think they are buying players. They bought a player even in this January. They need to change something in the Rangers International, because as you said, they are 4th on the table after a back-to-back losses. Then they will have a win. In the last 5 games, they have won 2 and lost 3. If you look at compare it to Remo Stars has won the last 5 games they have played. So that's why they are sitting pretty top at the top of the NPFL with 45 points. And Rangers had 39 points. It's very, very long way for us to go to win this Premier League. But if you look at it, what do you think Rangers should be doing? Buy more players, or probably fix up what we have?
For me, the most important thing is not buying more players. You need to buy the right profile of players for the team. And you also need to buy players with the mentality that can come in and shift the trajectory of the team. For example, if you look at the EPL, you have a club like Chelsea who are buying everything on the market, whether they fit the mold or not. They are just buying, right? And the transfer window is finally over. Maybe the fans can now finally rest, because every time they call in, they are clamoring for a transfer. It's not about bringing in players, it's about bringing in the right players. And then secondly, it's about bringing in players into the squad that can move the squad to the next level. Talking about bringing in 8s, 9s, and 10s into the club rather than bringing in a 5 just because you need to sign somebody. So that is where I feel that we need to do a whole lot better. We have a good bunch of players, but maybe there are a couple of players that can come in that could move the team a few notches upwards, and that's where you look at the HR side of recruitment. It's not just about signing anybody and getting people in. Sometimes transfers can be used as a placebo effect for fans. You give them something that makes them feel alright, but it's not solving the problem, and you're just delaying the problem for another season, and the situation can get worse. So we don't want a placebo effect in Rangers. We want a fix, and we want an upgrade on what we currently have, and that's what's going to move the team forward.
Okay, for Rangers International, they won that game 2-0 yesterday. Good result for Rangers International. I like the game they play. We play really good football. When Ilechuku is there, we play good football. But let's see where they are going to finish in this table. 9 points is actually big in the, especially when it comes to, in England. If you are 9 points behind you could dream that it's possible that you could win. But in Nigeria NPFL, if you are 9 points away from the title, even 3 points is huge, but 9 points is massive. So Rangers need to win their games and hope that other teams do them favors for them to win. Part of doing yourself a favor, Rangers Nation, you need to beat Remo Stars.
Yes.
You beat them when you win, so that you cut off that 3 points at least. You are sure to collect 3 points for them. Then you hope that other will do you favors before the end of the season. Okay, other games that happened in the MP, Lobby Star 0, Enyimba City 1. Good result for Enyimba. Bende winning Bende Insurance winning Kasna United 1-0. Kwara United 2, Academy Warriors 0. That's games in the NPFL. If you look at the table, Remo Stars still stay first on the table after winning 5 consecutive games. After 22 games, they have 45 points. Shooting Stars at 37 points. They are way above everybody in this NPFL. If you look at the points between first and second, you could know that this title is maybe going to Remo Stars this season, because the way they are playing good football. Not only playing good football, they are scoring goals. They have scored 30 goals this season. So they are one of the highest scorers in the Nigerian MPFL. Okay, in second position is Shooting Stars with 37 points. Rivers United have 35 points. And in fourth position is Rangers International with 34 points. That is the top 4 in Nigerian MPFL, Nigerian League. And the top last 3 is National United on 18th with 22 points. Lobby Stars with 21 points and 19th position. Then last is Akwa United with 20 points. The funniest part is that if Akwa United pick up wins, they can even, like Kasna United is in 14th position with 26 points. Just 2 games for them. So it's still going to be a battle in this relegation. Who is going
at least Akwa United can say that they are better than Southampton right now.
Exactly. They have 20 points. Southampton don't see 20 points. They never see 20 points. So, but let's see what happens in Nigeria MPFL. Okay, let's move quickly to the transfer window. Transfer windows happened yesterday, and everybody this was happening yesterday. Let's start with Chelsea. Why not? We have to start with Chelsea. Aston Villa just confirmed Disasi. Disasi have left Chelsea to Aston Villa, and that is a loan deal, and they are paying £5 million for that fee, and they are going to cover the salary for Disasi throughout the 6 months that he's going to stay. Then they're going to negotiate in the summer if he's going to stay or he's going to go. But good, I think. Who favors in this deal? Chelsea, Disasi, or Aston Villa?
I think it's Aston Villa, because let's not forget that Aston Villa in the running to finish in the top 4 is going to be a tight race. And of all the teams in the top 4, Aston Villa have strengthened this January by bringing in Rashford, bringing in what's his name now, Disasi for that back. Remember, they needed somebody extra in that back because of injuries. They've done some other good businesses, and like for me, it's looking like they are in a good position. The question now, though, is are we going to see Gen Z Rashford in Aston Villa? Are we going to see the Rashford that can score 30 goals? Because, Oli Watkins is out injured, so Rashford has come in at the right time with the right team to be in a position to get week in, week out Premier League matches. Playing that 9 position, is he going to flourish, or is he going to do something else?
Talking about Aston Villa again, they signed Rashford, they signed Asensio.
Yes.
They signed Asensio. Both of them, Disasi and Asensio, came in on loan. They signed Asensio from PA, signed Rashford on loan from Manchester United and sign everybody's unknown Disasi from Chelsea. I think good window for Aston Villa.
Good window for Aston Villa. Let's not forget that they have X amount, 70-something million pounds. They haven't spent.
They have not even touched it from the deal for
and it's sitting somewhere chilling, and they have these guys in on loan. It's a good deal for them. Hopefully they can push on now and finish in the top 4, because I think the goal has to be finishing in a Champions League spot to continue to build on what Unai Emery is doing at Aston Villa, and these guys strengthen the team. It's now how they are going to now integrate them into the team week in, week out, that we are going to see, and the performances from them.
What are you expecting from Rashford?
Yeah, Rashford, if he applies himself, this is where we say, if you look at every player that's left Manchester United who had one issue or the other, starting from the like of Greenwood, going down to the likes of Jadon Sancho last season with Borussia Dortmund and this season with Chelsea. You look at a couple of other players as well too, even the one that went to Panathinaikos. They flourished outside Manchester United. Let's see now if Marcus Rashford is going to do same at Aston Villa.
Okay, talking about Chelsea news, Chilwell has finally left Chelsea to Crystal Palace. He moved there. 6 months loan. He's going to come back in the summer, except he had to reduce his wages. For example, for Rashford going to from Manchester United to Aston Villa, I don't reduce for now.
Aston Villa are paying
70% of his salary. Man U are paying. Aston Villa are paying
70%.
Are paying the 30% that is remaining. So that means if he's going to move permanently to Aston Villa in the summer, he has to forfeit their 30% Man U pay, because I don't think he has to take a pay cut. For Chilwell, the same structure was given to him. Now he's moving to Crystal Palace. Who wins in this particular battle again?
I think it's Chilwell, because he's still on his bumper pay. He still gets his salary ameliorated by Chelsea. And it's a loan deal. There's no option to buy there. So it's not like he's under any pressure to do well so that he can leave Chelsea. If the loan deal doesn't work out, he comes back to Chelsea and he has a contract at the club. Unless Chelsea decide to buy out his contract and tell him to get lost, that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I think Chilwell wins in this conversation. Hopefully he gets a couple of good games, gets suitors coming in the summer, as which that's what Chelsea should be hoping, that he plays well and gets so that they can get him off the books.
The problem is that will he reduce his pay? But that's the thing, because how much will other clubs offer you?
Let's not forget that Chilwell has signed his final contract. As footballers, the contract you sign before you retire, that's the biggest and the bumper paycheck of all your playing career, unlike John Duran now that is on that type of contract, even though he's still 21 in Saudi Arabia. But Chilwell is on his biggest contract ever, and he's already in the 30s, right? So he's looking good for himself right now. If he's going to leave Chelsea to go play football, it shouldn't be a sharp drop from where he is, because he's in his prime years, and I think he's deserved it currently.
So talking about Chelsea, remember Renato Viega has left on loan early in the summer. So he moved to Juventus. A lot of players left Chelsea this summer. Kane Chukwuemeka moved to Borussia Dortmund on loan. So and Crystal Palace signed Ben Chilwell on loan, to Disasi on loan. So a lot of players left Chelsea in this particular summer. So let's see what happens, if it's going to be a good move for Chelsea or a bad move for Chelsea. But let me give you other big clause transfer for Arsenal. No in, no out. What do you make of that? Arsenal is chasing the title. They didn't buy anybody.
It's called audio transfer. I said it when we had news of Arsenal going for a certain Oli Watkins. Oli Watkins is 29.
Almost a day before the final day.
Almost a day before the final day. Hours before their game in the Champions League. And you're like, come on, man. We've seen this script all too familiar. We know that this is just a tap-up of the player. No concrete bid is going to be made. Aston Villa are not going to sell John Duran and Watkins in the same window. They'll be mad to do that, and it's not happened. I think the people most hard done by this deal is Arsenal fans. Remember, somebody called in, Lajat called in. I said it earlier, Lajat confirmed it. I said that with Arsenal scoring these goals, winning these games, and, doing this without Saka and Gabriel Jesus, there's the propensity for Ateta to feel like, oh, we have a great team, we don't need to sign. And what's going to happen? This before, let's not talk February ending. Next week now they will start losing what we are not even allowed to say. They'll start losing games, they'll start drawing games, they start dropping points. Before you know, they will finish fourth this season. And they will now say that you should have signed player. Baba, you know what to do to get yourself out of this situation. And I still keep coming back to what Bishop said. If Ateta does not win silverware this season, he should go.
You should go.
You should go straight up, because I don't know if it's pig-headedness or it's blindness or was it called myopia now, where you can't see the problem that is living under your nose. You need a striker. You need to reinforce the team, and Baba is feeling carefree right now.
Okay, let's see what happens with Arsenal. If I can remember when Arsene Wenger was still Arsenal coach, when a player goes on injury, and when he's coming back around this transfer window, he will tell you that guy coming out is like a new signing.
It's like a new And you know the funny thing, if the fans start crying for transfer, you go and bring a Kimi Kallstrom, you go and bring a Skilachi.
So people will leave him alone. It was always funny those periods as an Arsenal fan. You see all these some of these Arsenal fans will be formed. They will be angry. Angry. Say this man is stingy. Buy striker, no, buy this one. But let's see what Arteta is going to do. He has a couple of players out, like Saka is going to be back maybe 2-3 weeks. So that's what he's hoping for to happen. But let's see.
We shall see.
We shall see if they are going to be trashing 65 goals to 1. It gives them some confidence boost. But let's see what Arsenal is going to be doing. For Liverpool, no incomings again in this transfer window. What do you make of it again?
I think you don't want to screw a good thing up. They have a good squad that's delivering for them for now. Of course, there are places the manager will want to fix up come the summer. So I don't think he's under any pressure right now to bring anybody in. And he doesn't want to... Top of the table, top of the Champions League formats. They really don't need unless they get severe injuries. So there was no need for them to do any business this January. The question now is they have to hope now that they don't pick up any major injuries before the end of the season, so that they do not suffer what's happening. A couple of clubs in the Premier League are with 9 players out, some with 10 players out, and guess what? Their season is going to finish poorly this year.
Okay, let's go over for Liverpool. They did not sign any players, and they did not release any first team players. It was just probably academy players that went on loan to get first team experience. But let's talk about Manchester City. They brought in Kushanov from Lens for £33 million. Brought Victor from Palmeiras from Brazil, £29 million. Mamouche from Frankfurt with £59 million. And Nico Gonzalez, they bought that one yesterday. That was the deal they completed before the deadline yesterday for £15 million. They spent a whole lot of money in this particular transfer, even though truthfully they didn't spend in the summer. They just brought in Gundogan free. So they didn't spend anything, so probably they had money.
Of course.
He was thinking that probably he's going to do something, but somehow they started well, as we said yesterday in the season. They started well. Somehow they just hit a big wall. Like it was a surprise for everyone. Nobody saw it coming. They were winning. Haaland was scoring a hat-trick, scoring goals. He was the highest goal scorer. Suddenly, they hit a big one and started going down. But look at this transfer they have made this January. Especially, let's talk about Nico Gonzalez. What do you think he will bring? Because he's like a box-to-box attacking player. He's not a defensive midfielder, which everybody was probably looking out for them to buy. But he brought in an attacking player. Probably 2 attackers he brought in. So what do you make of this Nico Gonzalez and all the transfers City has made this January?
It's a good one, because for me, I just got up this morning and, as a City fan, you have to be in the WhatsApp channel, right? And I saw the update on Nico Gonzalez, and I was like, from where? Like
the deal started yesterday, like play. Okay, midnight, like yesterday evening, the day before yesterday evening, and everybody was, okay, will he come in? Because everybody was expecting to buy probably a young defensive midfielder that will help him marshal that midfield, but probably still trust, what's his name? Kovacic, until Rodri comes back. Okay, but if you look at that Nico and other transfers, good window for City.
Yeah, good window for City. If you look at the only issue I would have is that our last game in the Champions League, we couldn't register some of these signings in, and hopefully now we can do that, having qualified to the knockout stages, we can do that now. But then looking at the player signed in, good move. If it were any other team in the Premier League, they would not have made these signings. And then I think these signings have just come as a moniker to the fact that City are ready to take the bull by the horn and turn their fate around, right? You have two defenders, one midfielder, one striker. It's a good move for the team, and hopefully they can come in and assimilate fast enough and start playing and start performing. Like in that game against Chelsea, I would have wanted to see a Kushanov or Victor Rage starting in the centre half pairing, because Akonji and Stones haven't played together in a long time, and Stones has been out injured. He's just coming back, so I wasn't really satisfied with that. And then also not really satisfied with Nunez playing at the right back position, but good sign is nonetheless. Hopefully Gonzalez can bring in something into his squad. I think Gonzalez will be like a more replacement for a Bernardo Silva than for DM, yes.
I think it's going to be more of replacing what's his name this year, KDB. Well, that's why I think, because KDB is not starting, and probably KDB might leave in the summer. So probably bringing a player that can actually fit in that role and see what happens. But for City, they bought very well this summer, this January. But let's see where they are going to be ending in the summer, because they need to. They're not outside. So they are buying these players because there is some. How can you play a Premier League and you not qualify for top 4? How? For Pep Guardiola, you not play Champions League football. He has not even played any other competition his whole life apart from Champions League. Since he entered that coaching role with Barcelona, I think 2008 or so, 2007, he has been playing Champions League every season till now. But let's see what happens. Okay, on our YouTube channel, Drake Media, welcome to the show. He said every Arsenal fan should have known that no player was going to be signed. Normally, Arsenal know they like spend money. I don't know. I think I entered there, can't get the same mentality again. Spend money, but let's see. I really don't understand. Let's see if they are where they are going to be ending in the summer. If they are going to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Okay, Drake Media is also saying, and the City score. The City scoreline confirmed it again. Amazing signings from Villa. Let's see what they can do. Especially, I think Villa had the best transfer window this summer, this January. Let's not forget they brought in Donyell Malen. They brought in Rashford. Yes. They brought in what's his name, Disasi as well too. So they made a couple of good signings. So for City outgoing is only Walker left on loan to AC Milan. He played his first game in the weekend. So kudos to City. Let's see where City is going to be after buying all these players. Okay, let's talk about Manchester United. They bought a young player from Arsenal, and they bought a left wing fullback from Patrick Dogu. They brought Dogu in, and they brought for £30 million from Patrick Dogu from Lecce, £30 million. He's going to be playing in that left wing back. They brought in a young defender from Arsenal. That is Heaven. Yes. They brought in Heaven from Arsenal. He plays for the under-21, so he has moved to Manchester United. Okay, that's the only two players they bought, but I won't talk about Heaven because Heaven is still academic. Yes. He's still going to go back straight to the academic for Manchester United. But what do you make of this Doku guy? Because, okay, let's talk about the outgoing Rashford left and Antonio left too. But if you look at this Doku guy, even though Shaw is always injured, so they need Doku to start performing immediately. Yes. Immediately from that. He needs to hit the ground running. Yeah, so, but poor window from Manchester United, if you ask me. Poor window for Manchester United. Like we said initially, we weren't expecting Manchester United to do a lot of signings this window without exit, because they are looking likely to breach the PSR rules, and that would mean that they could get points deduction, if not this season, if they breach the PSR. And because of that, they've been able to just get this player in now, because they had to get Rashford and Anthony off, so they can show the PSR that this salary is worth close to £600,000, left the club's balance sheet, and they were able to make a 30 million signing of Patrick Dogu. Dogu was actually anxious for the deal, but Lecce held on to make sure that they got enough amount of money, complete, so that they can get a replacement or do something else without him in the side. But the question is, if you look at the way Manchester United have played, Manchester United are becoming a tinkerer's club, which means that Amorim doesn't know who his starting 11 is, and he keeps moving the team around
hoping to get a different result, and it's not going to work. At some time, at a certain point in time, you have to have a understanding that this is my back three, this is my back five. You play in this position, you play in this position, you know what the instructions are. You can play, okay, look at the last two matches. You see somebody playing in the right wing back position today. Tomorrow he's playing in the center, the defense. Next tomorrow he's playing on the left wing back. These things affect players' playing mentality and play style, and it's going to tell in the performance you see on the pitch. So hopefully with Dogu coming in now, Dalo can leave that left wing back position. Malasia can leave that left wing back position.
Malasia is
and
to
PSV. Dogu can get a starting position in that place. And then we know that it's now Dogu on the left, Mazraoui on the right, and then the three musketeers behind them.
Okay, let's see what happened in Manchester United. There is a bad news for Manchester United because Martinez was stretched out in the last game and he needs a surgery to deal with his injury. So let's see how long he's going to be out. So good luck to him, and let's hope he recovers soon from that injury, because it's always sad to see players go out on long-term injuries. But let's see. But for Anthony got the first man of the match. He left on loan after like 70 million pounds, or they spent to bring him from Ajax. 3 seasons is not worked for him. Now he's now on loan at Real Betis. In that final game, in that last game in the weekend, he got the man of the match. So, but let's see if he's going to do well in that. If he does well, probably 6 months, he might come back to Manchester United and continue his career. But
I don't see him coming back.
But let's see what happens with them. For Newcastle United, no transfer at all. They didn't bring in any players in this particular January. So let's see if they are going to survive the Premier League. For Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, where the highest they brought in 2 players. They brought in Danso from Lens in France. Then they brought in Matitels from Bayern Munich on loan. That one is what I'm interested in. You know, they are not scoring goals. Their defense has a whole lot of issues. So they brought in a defender and a young striker. They
also brought in a goalkeeper, Anthony Kingsley.
Kingsley. He just entered today. Tomorrow he's playing the game. He's playing because all their goalkeepers are injured. But Matitels is a young boy. He didn't have his time at Bayern Munich because of Hurricane was there and other couple of players was there. But now he's going to be moving, playing 6 months at Spurs. I think it's a good move for both parties.
I think it's a good move because if you look at Spurs now, they are without their main man up front. The 65 million sign is out injured. Brennan Johnson as well, who plays in that position, is also out injured. And then if you look at the centre halves, they are depleted, seriously depleted.
Everywhere, the injuries so everywhere.
They needed to have signed, in this window. The only sad thing about this is that none of these deals are permanent, though they have an option, an obligation to buy Matistel at the end of the season. It's going to be seen whether they will exercise that option or not. And let's not forget that this is the same player who rejected the move initially before Angie had to put a personal phone call through to get the deal over the line. Let's see, he's an exciting prospect in European football.
Yes,
he should be able to hit the ground running and be able to start producing something for Tottenham Hotspur. Then for Kevin Danso, hopefully he does better in the centre of position and helps the team because they really need it.
For Westham United, they brought in Evan Ferguson from Brighton on loan. They recalled James Ward-Prowse from Nottingham Forest. He has not played much. They recalled both players. Both of them are on loan. I think for Evan Ferguson, if you know that boy, everybody, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, everybody was thinking,
season was 2022, 2023.
Everyone was thinking he's going to make it big. He's going to move to a big club. And I think at some point, Arsenal, everybody was looking for him, and they were putting 80 million pounds, 90 million pounds if you want him. And unfortunately for him, he went on these injuries every time. Every season he's going on a long-term injury. Even this, he just came back from injury before West Ham signed him. So for West Ham, they just brought in this striker, a striker and a midfielder. So let's see how they are going to finish this summer. Okay, that's all for English transfers. Okay, generally, I think Aston Villa won this transfer window.
Yeah, I would give it to them
Aston
simply
Villa won. I
because
think so.
they did a good amount of business. If you look at, let's just go over those players again. You have Daniel Malen, you had Asensio, you had Disasi, you had Rashford, you also have a
Garcia.
Andres
Garcia
Garcia
from Levante.
undisclosed, yes, and then a Louis Barry. They had good signings, made a lot. Let's not forget that they also made a lot of money this window. They got rid of Diego Carlos for 10 million, got rid of Philogene for 20, got rid of John Duran for 70 something. So they made a lot of money, and
And they didn't even spend that money.
yes, Buendia on loan to Bayer Leverkusen. So they did a lot of good business this window.
Okay, Aston Villa, for us, Aston Villa won this transfer window. Okay, let's see where they are going to be finishing in this Premier League. It's not about buying players, it's about making them work. You can buy 10 players and they are not working. So, but let's see where they are going to be ending in this transfer. In the end of the season, if they are going to, they are in the knockout stages of the Champions League. They are straight, they finished top 8, so they are going to play the round of 16 once. Well, I think they are buying these players so that they will finish very well in the Premier League. Okay, that's all for the transfers. Okay, let's take phone calls about all these transfers we are talking about. Or the Chelsea game, the number to call is 0706 048 5853. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen in the studio.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Yes, no so there, no so good morning, sir.
No so not there today. Good morning.
I actually see which is a couple breed.
Okay.
One down there.
Okay, the Tago today. What's your contribution?
My contribution is that the fact is that Chelsea is going somewhere. At least we have to maintain that top 4 so that we can go to Champions League next season.
Okay.
Yes, that's my take. That's all.
All right.
I don't have to say much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Chelsea fan, they are now in the top 4 conversation. Now they are top 4. Can they maintain that? That's the question. Can they maintain that position to the end of the season? That's the problem, because they are still here to play other big boys. They are still here to play Arsenal, play other big boys. They have already lost one big game already. But let's see what happens with them before the end of the season. Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Zaza. I'm calling from Enugu.
Okay, Zaza, what is your contribution?
Well, I like the game. Chelsea game yesterday, I think they did well.
Okay.
To come back into the game and then take all the 3 points. Then secondly, I like how you keep doing, based on the transfers, I like how you keep doing the old Arsene Wenger days when he made outrageous bids and very comical bids for players. I remember one time he made a bid for Luis Suarez.
Yes, 40 million and one.
Yes, 40 million and one.
49 million plus £1.
Yes.
And then when Liverpool signed Luis Suarez, Suarez was a £1 coin at the fans, and almost it was a very, very good old days for the Premier League.
Yes.
But coming to Manchester United and their signings, and I think Amorim wants to utilize what he has now and then probably see what he can get during the summer.
Okay.
That is what I feel he's trying to do now.
Okay.
But all the best to Manchester United anyway.
All right. Thank you very much. I forgot to mention that Joao Felix moved to AC Milan. Joao Felix left Chelsea. He's now at AC Milan. He's going to be there on loan. You see, imagine after spending almost 40 million.
Yeah, 45 million pounds. I don't understand Chelsea.
You had all these players, Nkunku, Jackson, the same kind of players you still bought it. And they would have just bought Omorodion, a 21-year-old, and kept it on the bench.
Simple.
A target guy. I don't understand what Chelsea did with that transfer. I think it's money laundry. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
I'm John from Enugu.
Okay, John, what is your contribution?
Welcome.
I don't know, so we're going to high.
Yeah, hello? Okay, I think we lost that call. Okay, as I was talking about, I think Chelsea did money laundry with that Joao Felix, because it doesn't make sense. How do you spend almost a 50 million pounds on a player and you don't even play him?
It's crazy.
And it's not on loan, so you are going to pay 50% of his salary just for.
You know the annoying point. The same window you signed Joao Felix, you signed Pedro Neto. You also signed Sancho. Bro, why are you buying the same type of players everywhere? In the wings now you have 11 players. Who does that? Who does that, man? It's crazy, man.
Okay, let's see what happens with him. He's now at AC Milan, so he is going to join Walker in that AC Milan. So call us and tell us what you think about that Chelsea game or this transfer window. Do you think that your club did well in this transfer window, especially if you're an Arsenal fan? Because Arsenal fan, everybody was thinking, I know somehow in my mind that they are not going to buy anybody. When they made that bid for Watkins, I know that these people just they play. Okay, let's take a few more calls. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Godwin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
John, is not there?
No, it's just John today.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
It's Bishop.
All right. Bishop, what is your contribution?
I want to just, Nonso and you just echo my statement. In terms of Aston Villa, I think they did very well in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, they did. Look at the kind of players they
Quality players.
And Ole Watkins is not there. They have Rashford now. Asensio is not so that bad. I think with if they want to help themselves, Rashford Asensio with the help of Unai, I think they will do well. Even though I was not really okay with disaster they brought in, because that guy is not a solid at the back. But maybe if you want to help yourself and the help of it, they can be good on a very good day. I think they did okay. And that is why I was very angry on Mitoma. I don't know why someone is doing this kind of money to you, about 90 million euros, and you are rejecting. How? Are you going to win the league with Mitoma? I just expect you to win the league for you. But Leonardo, are you keeping him to sell him like how much? Honestly, I don't know the advisor, but I was very, very angry and pissed off, like the money was presented. How? You look at what I told you, that if they sold him and they got the thing, they did not even really spend the money, just like you said, because Rashford was optional to make permanent. Essentially, there was no option to make him permanent. There was no even option to make him permanent. So the money is still intact. Understand?
Yes.
So that is the wise business. Are you keeping Durant to win the league? Or how much will you want to sell him again? So I think that thing made a very big, to my own opinion, for not taking that money. To be honest.
All right.
And also, before I drop the call, I don't think the second match, it was not really a good performance, to be honest. But they won. Sometimes it's not, don't really need to play well for you to win. But the only two I have with horrible performance is that for how long are you going to sustain it? It's not sustainable.
Yes.
You get me?
Yes.
You cannot play badly every time to win games. So sometimes it will work. Now, well against Manchester last season and they went to win the championship. Sometimes it's not so. I keep on saying it. Man is doing. It's not. Sometimes you play horrible and win, but it's not sustainable. That's my problem. It doesn't work every time. Sometimes it can work. It doesn't work every time.
Yes.
Their performance last night, it was not easy, to be honest. Even some of their fans were watching the game. They were like, come on, what is this? This is very poor performance. But they won. The trip is the most important thing for now.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, let's hear your thoughts about the transfers that happening. Do you think that your club made good transfers in this January transfer window? Yeah, hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Yes, I'm still John.
Okay, John. Okay, you went off. Okay, what is your contribution, John?
I want to know. I want you to clarify me on loan to Fulham.
Yes.
Whether I receive a loan to Man United.
Yes, Chukwueze, that bid was made for him. But talking about Fulham, first they brought in Williams back in the club. So Williams is back in that club. Now let's see if you look at Chukwueze, they made a loan bid for him, but I don't think that loan pulled through. But we're still monitoring that particular transfer because they made a loan move for him. That let's move yesterday.
Yeah.
They were still watching that deal if he's going to move, but I don't think he's going to move. He's going to stay at AC Milan this summer, this January.
Okay, I want you to give condolence message to Nonso.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, God bless you.
Thank you very much. And so if you are hearing us, they say we should give you a condolence message. Sorry for losing yesterday's game. Okay, let's take the last call before we end the show. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. Name and location, please. Okay. All right.
AKA Farmer.
Okay.
That man did there. What's that man did there?
You know, they today.
And they're going on now. Yeah, this man you guy where you score. You know go talk, you leave other person may talk. They will talk about man you on three, what you do. And relegation they go, relegation direct. They hear me?
Yes.
Direct to relegation. See Westham, see Everton. See, I know, look at Everton. It's coming up. And Wolf is coming up. They go down, the man you go down. They go finish. Because here, Old Trafford don't begin league. They hear?
Yes.
Old Trafford they leak. Everywhere they leak. Because all that info they do, and they go to follow them. Here they tell you. The relegation are not about to happen. Yes, they say just no go market. Yes, no go market. But there's no we use our we will tax people the players. We will give them. We will progress. Bye. Thank you for supper. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, talking about Nigerian players, the late move was made for Chukwuekezie in that transfer yesterday. We are still monitoring that move if they concluded that move. For another transfer of Nigerian player moving is Ihanacho. Ihanacho has moved to Middlesbrough in the second division to continue his. We didn't work out with him in Sevilla. Now he is at Middlesbrough. What do you make of that before we close the show?
Yeah, I think he's prioritizing getting game time rather than sitting at a big club and collecting paycheck. Maybe he's finally
not even collecting any big anything.
He's finally learning his lesson from the first initial mistake of going to City rather than Arsenal, and he's going to Middlesbrough. The main thing is going to be, is he going to get game time? If he's going to get game time, then why not? Good move for him.
So good move for him. Ihanacho has moved back to England in second division Middlesbrough. Let's see if it's going to work out for him. And if he plays well, probably he might get called up in the national team. But we'll keep monitoring his progress in that Division 2 in England. Okay, thank you for joining us on today's show. This is how we're going to end today's show. Generally, look at all the transfer that happened. If your club didn't buy any players, sorry, let's hope that in the summer they will buy for you. But for now, especially for Arsenal fans, for Liverpool fans, they did not buy anything. For Man U fans, for Manchester United, Man City fans, and Aston Villa, they did well in this transfer market. But let's see what happens in the league, in the Champions League, till the end of the season. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. We'll talk more of football here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for people that join us on our YouTube. My name is Godwin, and have a wonderful day.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Volt 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage.
Take a break and enjoy the show.
More.
Alex Iwobi gets the ball out to the left-hand side. The delivery comes in. Oh, it's a goal!
Entertainment. News and politics.
Enugu State Governor has sent us to the elected
Gospel.
And let them have dominion. The kingdom of God is within people.
Awesome programs exclusively on
Volt 104.3 FM.
For the hottest day.